Kitty Cat Kids Corner. Kitty Cat Kids Corner. Kitty Cat Kids Corner. It's Caturday story time.
Check out this week's Adoptable Cool Cats, Sweetie Pie, and Sudsy on the ElGatoCoffeehouse.com or AnimalJusticeLeague.org websites. You can also see them featured in this week's Crafting with Kitties. How many kitty cats do you see hiding out on this street? How many kitty cats do you see hiding out on this street? Stay tuned to find out how many kitty cats at the end of today's story time.
Hello, my name is Miss Regina, and I'm a librarian with Harris County Public Library in Lone Star College Sci-Fair. Today we will be reading My Name is Bob by Jame Bowen and Gary Jenkins. Today we have Jade and Simey joining us for story time. My name is Bob, and I'm a street cat. Shall I tell you my story? Then come with me. I wasn't always a street cat. I grew up in a quiet house with a kind old lady. She looked after me. She loved me, and I loved her. I would curl up in her coziest chair and listen to the beautiful music she played. I thought I was the luckiest little cat in the world. Then, one day, the old lady wasn't well. I wanted to make her better, so I sat on her lap, watching over her from morning till night. But there was nothing I could do to help her. One day, some men in an ambulance came. I hoped they could make her better, so I chased after them down the road. I ran and ran and tried to keep up. I jumped onto a bus thinking it would follow her. But instead, it took me on a long journey into the big city. After a time, the driver made me jump off the bus. The streets were busy and noisy. Everybody was rushing around so fast. I wish I could go back home, I said to myself, but I didn't have a home anymore. I tried to get some food from a garbage can, but some street cats snarled at me. "Get lost," one of them spat. I felt frightened and ran away. I ran and ran through the crowded streets, not knowing where I was. That night, I slid inside a cardboard box in the doorway of a shop. It was warm and cozy, and it made me think of home. I miss curling up in my chair. How I miss my home, I thought. The next morning, a big man woke me up. "Scram!" he shouted, shaking me out of my box. I ran away. Days passed. Everywhere I went, people chased me off. Weeks passed. I crept away and hid. And then one morning, I heard a friendly voice. "Hello, pussycat. Do you want to come home with me?" "Yes, please," I purred. I was so happy that someone wanted me. But his mother wouldn't let me in. I'm not having that smelly cat in my house, she said, and she slammed the door closed. I stared at my reflection in a puddle. The face in the water didn't look like me. I was so scruffy and dirty, as though I hadn't washed for a year. I was cold and hungry and too tired even to lick myself clean. Will I ever find a home again? I thought. Day after day I walked and walked. Nobody wanted to feed me. Nobody wanted to take me in. Nobody wanted to be my friend. Winter came, but my life hadn't changed. I was alone, hungry and cold, on the streets. But then, when spring came, my luck changed. I heard music, beautiful music. I followed the sound and saw a man playing his guitar. I could tell he was sad and lonely like me. He looked like he needed a friend. So I followed him home and waited outside for him. That night, I saw a pair of eyes glowing in the dark. I was cornered. The creature bit me as I tried to escape. The next morning, my leg hurt so much that I hobbled inside the building and sat by the stairs. Perhaps the man will see me here, I thought. Perhaps he will help me. Then I heard, "Hello, little fella. You look hungry," the man said. "Do you want to come up for some milk and tuna?" The man was kind. He stroked me gently and put medicine on my leg. "Don't worry. You're safe with me," he said. I felt I could trust him. He seemed like a friend. He told me his name was James. "And I'm going to call you Bob," he said. When my leg was better, James and I went out to play music. On the streets, people smiled and gathered to watch us. James and his street cat named Bob. I sat at his feet while he strummed his guitar. I thought I was the luckiest little cat in the world, just like before. From that day on, we've been together, and we always will be. Thank you so much for joining me and Jade for another edition of Caturday Storytime. Stay tuned to find out the answer to today's Caturday puzzle. Great job, Jade. Great job. Okay. Great job. Great job.
How many kitty cats do you see hiding out on this street? If you guessed 9 kitty cats, you are correct.
Don't forget to register for our Tales and Tales summer reading program starting June 7th, and to tune in every Saturday this summer for Caturday story times and crafting with kitties. Happy Caturday! Don't forget to check out the hcpl.net online catalog for more books about cats. Check out our ebooks and audiobooks selection for kids.